Fredericton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And thank the member from Vaughan Woodbridge for sharing his time with me today. And thank you for all members engaging in this important debate. We know just how difficult this pandemic has been on seniors, how it impacted them, their livelihood, their quality of life, their mental health, even their safety. We all agree in this House that we need to do more to help seniors and their communities. As announced in the fiscal update, we will be delivering a one-time payment to fully compensate those affected in 2020, and today we introduced Bill C-12 to exclude any pandemic benefits for the purposes of calculating guaranteed income supplement going forward. Mr. Speaker, I had many conversations at the doorstep with individuals who were affected. C-12 goes a long way in demonstrating that as parliamentarians, we are listening and our government is responding. The fact remains that far too many seniors in Canada have been living in poverty. It's been an issue long before this pandemic. But COVID, an unprecedented global health crisis, has made matters worse. Seniors who lost income and were financially struggling accessed emergency support to help them get by. Bill C-12 will now protect seniors from losing their income-tested GIS payments going forward and rectify any loss of GIS as a result of receiving COVID benefits. This will protect struggling seniors from falling deeper into poverty and rectify the unintended consequences of pandemic benefits that were designed to help. Many seniors have been trying to survive paycheck to paycheck, and in New Brunswick, this situation is worse. 1 in 5 seniors in my province lives below the poverty line, and many more are just at the cusp. This is well above the Canadian average. These seniors depend on GIS to pay their rent, heat their homes, and buy groceries, particularly at a time where the cost of living continues to rise. In Fredericton, the average rent for a 2-bedroom apartment is now close to $1,000. Seniors desperately need the action our government is proposing. Passing C-12 also matters for our commitment to advancing gender equality, furthering reconciliation, and combating systemic discrimination. The loss of GIS payments would disproportionately impact women, Indigenous peoples, and racialized Canadians, demographics that statistically experience higher rates of poverty. It's urgent that we pass this bill and help the estimated 90,000 seniors across the country who have been impacted. Failing to pass this bill would further threaten the economic security of thousands. I am optimistic that through the leadership of the Minister of Seniors, that real, tangible change will be felt across the country. This government is committed to building a better future for seniors. As a member from the Atlantic, this positive change cannot come soon enough. By 2036, Canada's seniors population could be close to 11 million. As the Canadian population continues to age, so does the number of older adults expecting to be living in subsidized housing buildings. We need to look at the future and take measures now to avoid having seniors who spend their lives building this beautiful country reach their golden years and live under the poverty line. Mr. Speaker, I would be remiss if I did not take this opportunity to suggest that we can go further to support seniors and many others facing poverty. I am proud that this government is seriously looking to implement pilot projects on guaranteed livable income and moving forward on its objective to reach agreements with provincial and territorial partners to implement national universal pharmacare. I truly feel these measures in particular could usher in deep and lasting systemic change. Simply put, to improve the lives of senior citizens, we must make life more affordable. I am proud to say that this government is doing just that by investing to offer better public transportation and affordable housing. We are investing in creative programs such as the multi-generational home renovation tax credit to help families add a secondary unit to their home for an immediate or extended family member. This government is also working to establish an aging at home benefit so that seniors can afford to stay in their homes longer while increasing the quality of long-term care for those who need it. We are creating opportunities for seniors to be more connected, supported, and active members of their communities through the New Horizons for Seniors program. These initiatives will help to enhance the quality of life for all Canadian seniors, and we shouldn't stop there. It's long overdue that we return elders in our communities to their positions of honor and respect. I also want to acknowledge the organizations in my community who have been working hard to support older adults. They are making a real difference in my riding. The Stepping Stone Senior Centre and the Senior Wellness Action Group are but 2 great examples of those who are working to help connect hundreds of seniors in the Greater Fredericton area to work collaboratively to develop and deliver affordable and accessible activities to meet physical, mental, and social needs. They provide volunteer matching, assist with emergency preparedness, support food security, and much, much more. They are providing opportunities for seniors to meet, to learn, to develop new skills, to socialize, to entertain, to be entertained, to be entrepreneurs, and they are serving as an information source for seniors and those who work with them, like me, while promoting the growth and development of seniors of our community. Mr. Speaker, there are important lessons that we must take forward from this pandemic, and providing adequate supports for seniors must be at the top of our priority list. We must invest in seniors and ensure that people can live in dignity and safety in their older years. We saw many examples of Canadians being there for each other throughout this pandemic, and this must continue. In many communities around the world, elders are celebrated, they are seen as the head of their family, their knowledge is precious. We need to do more to cherish them here in Canada. The best classroom in the world is at the feet of an elder. Let's listen to what they have been telling us. Let's pass C12 without delay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Questions et commentaires, questions and comments. The honourable member for Renfrew, Nipissing, Pembroke.
Thank you again, Mr. Speaker. For the seniors who live in long-term care or publicly funded seniors' residences, generally speaking, their entire old age security and GIS goes right to the facility. In what ways are seniors going to benefit from having more of the income that's given to them forwarded to the facilities? Is there any assurance that that will happen, or will it just go into the general coffers and not really provide a positive impact for the residents?
Honourable Député de Fredericton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank my honourable colleague for that question. Certainly that's a kind of a specific example. There's many other ways that people can continue to kind of live their lives at home as well, and so that we're also hoping that it would, support their lives and do what they need and have resources to do that. Certainly there's a conversation to be had about what that looks like for those in long-term care, and I look forward to continuing that conversation. Thank you, Madam Speaker, or Mr. Speaker.
Questions et commentaires, questions and comments. L'honorable député de Jonquière.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. J'entends plusieurs conservateurs parler aujourd'hui, plusieurs libéraux, pardon, je ne veux pas vous insulter, plusieurs libéraux parler aujourd'hui de normes dans les soins de longue durée. Si on ajoute des normes dans les soins, à un moment donné, il va falloir que l'argent suive. Je ne sais pas si ma collègue sait que la part du fédéral dans le financement de la santé, c'est à peine 22 %. Vous ajoutez des normes, mais jamais on voit l'argent. Et ce qui ajoute l'insulte à l'injure, c'est que ce n'est pas un de vos champs de compétences. Est-ce que vous ne pensez pas, comme moi, que la meilleure solution, si on veut soutenir les aînés, c'est de hausser les transferts en santé de 35 %? Merci.
The honourable member for Fredericton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank my honourable colleague for that question. I think it's important that we have these conversations in the House. We talk about jurisdiction a lot, and I think we've seen that, there is a role for the federal government to play here in ensuring that we have standards across this country that can assure quality of services for seniors no matter where they live. So I think it's incumbent upon us to work together with our provincial counterparts to ensure that, the lessons learned from this pandemic, specifically around long-term care, are not soon forgotten. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Questions and comments. Questions et commentaires. The honourable member for Edmonton Strathcona.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I would like to thank my colleague for her intervention in the House today. She spoke about giving seniors the opportunity to age with dignity, and I've met with many seniors in Edmonton Strathcona who speak about that very thing. They speak about wanting to age in place, wanting to ensure that the care they get when they do transition into long-term care is adequate. What we've seen in Alberta, certainly, is a real problem with for-profit centres, with centres that you basically use a profit mandate rather than a care mandate. So would she suggest, or would she support, I guess, making sure that there is no dollars in long-term care, that it is in fact a public service that is provided? And what steps would she see the government taking to ensure that seniors have that opportunity to age in place longer before they go into long-term care?
The honourable member for Fredericton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank my honourable colleague from Edmonton Strathcona. I know she cares deeply about the seniors across this country and has worked very hard to see this particular bill come to fruition as well. I think that it again speaks to jurisdictional issues, that when it comes to long-term care, each province and territory has its own kind of version, and New Brunswick have a mix of private and public care. And so, again, we have to make sure that every dollar that's being spent is being used to the best of its, capacity to really support seniors in their needs of their older years. I will, use this time as well to kind of give a shout out to Pine Grove Nursing Home in Fredericton, New Brunswick, where my grandmother is in palliative care right now. So there's good examples that we can point to as far far as best practices, and I think that needs to be part of the conversation with provinces and territories as we look to ensure that standards of care are upheld across the country in long-term care. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
And we have time for a quick question and answer. The honourable member for Hamilton Centre. Oh, sorry. I'm going to go over Kitchener Centre. Too many centres.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Maybe a caucus of centres should be emerged. Mike, I really appreciate the comments from the honourable member for Fredericton. In particular, appreciate that she mentioned a guaranteed livable income in her comments. As I wonder if she might want to offer more for us to hear about the impact and her advocacy. I appreciate her advocacy for a guaranteed livable income. Would love to hear about her comments on the impact of a guaranteed livable income for seniors.
The honourable member for Fredericton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank my honourable colleague from Kitchener Centre. Anytime I can talk about a guaranteed livable income, I will certainly take that chance. I really see it as this kind of safety net that can help so many across this country, including seniors in a really big way. Those with disabilities as well, the list could go on and on and on. I think that this is something we could do that could, again, I talk about it kind of a collective sigh of relief that we could see across the nation to protect our most vulnerable. We need to do that for seniors as soon as possible, and I'm committed to continuing that conversation with my colleagues. Thank you very much.